Before I introduce our first speaker this evening, I want to recognize a person who once again made sure that we all enjoyed one or two, maybe 3 glasses of wine with our meal. La femme de ma vie, parodontiste, et quand elle prépare ses conférences, bénéficiaire de mes connaissances acquises à Toastmasters. Alors, merci à Jacinthe Larrivée. Jacinthe, ta générosité n'est surpassée que par ton amour pour moi, je le sais. I also want to bring your attention, we did receive a letter for our 65th anniversary from Toastmasters International. And it says, Dear St. Lawrence Toastmasters and members of St. Lawrence Toastmasters Club, on behalf of the Board of Governors, it is my honor to congratulate you on the occasion of your club's 65th anniversary on November 1st, 2013. And you go on to say, keep your passions burning ever so brightly. Congratulations again on the club anniversary. Signed, George Yen, DTM International President. Great, appreciate it. Now, normally I would like remind you that there's no service during the speeches. That's like in an ideal world. Maybe there's going to be service, maybe not. Hopefully they'll be discreet when they do it. But it would be appreciated if everyone could remain seated apart from actually the people doing service. And also thank you for turning on your cell phones or your smartphones. Just keep in mind that they aren't smart enough to do it themselves. That's important to remember. They're not that smart. In fact, please turn off all noise-making electronic devices. And Jacques, you can keep your thing on. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce our first speaker. A supervisor for operator services at Bell Canada, an aficionado of the opera. He joined our club in May of 2011. Since then, he has dazzled us with his talents as a wordsmith, the rich content of his talks, and his stentorian voice. Tonight, he would like to make a passing commentary on the ways fathers and sons sometimes come to terms. In a speech titled Fathers and Sons, please help me warmly welcome Joseph Sohmer.
We all have fathers. Fathers to love us, fathers to protect us, fathers to encourage us, and fathers to direct us. And when I hear people talking about their fathers, I invariably always think of this 1960s hit parade song by Judy Collins called My Father, where she sings the following words. My father always promised us that we would live in France, we'd all go boating on the Seine, and I would learn to dance. And I thought, how pretty. To learn to dance, to sing, to write, to act, to paint. What a privileged child to have such a wonderful father encouraging such artistic yet difficult endeavors. And other fathers, well, not so much, because when some sons ask their fathers, what shall I be in life? Not all fathers respond in the same way. Que sera, sera, whatever will be, and endorse their son's choice on a vocation. My father wanted me to become like him, a businessman. And from his very lips, I can hear the very words of Arthur Miller's theatrical character, Willie Loman, screaming at the top of his lungs. The man who makes an appearance in the business world is the only man who gets ahead. Or, the world is your oyster, but you can't crack an oyster open on a mattress. So much for my laziness and my indolence. But how my father would have loved to have died the death of a salesman and perhaps die in green velvet slippers and have hundreds and hundreds of businessmen at his funeral acknowledging his worth and his reputation as a businessman. My father, Maurice Sohmer, was born in Montreal in 1909, the son of immigrant parents from Northern Europe. And he, like Willie Loman, sought the American dream of equal opportunity and business success for everyone, providing one works hard and perseveres. Whether or not that's a myth or not, I really don't know. But soon he became the sole financial supporter of his entire large family, poor at the time. And in 1935, in the heart of the Depression, my father achieved the formidable feat of having graduated from McGill University as a chartered accountant. But as his career grew, so did his bad character. As children, we were always confronted by his coldness and his abrasiveness towards us. He was always so difficult to approach and so impossible to please. But worst of all, we were always so frightened at the volatility of his fiery temperament, which would go off at a flicker of a light. And on the Sohmer stage of theater, my father virtually dominated front stage center, playing the role of family patriarch, while the rest of the family members were relegated to bit parts, maybe backstage or behind the scenes. And how well I remember him screaming at us his famous motto, "Children should be seen and not heard." Well, yes, my father did die the death of a salesman. Perhaps he didn't die in green velvet slippers, but he did have hundreds and hundreds of businessmen at his funeral acknowledging his worth and reputation as a businessman. And needless to say, I did not become the businessman that he wanted me to become. And I never quite gained the respect from him that I wish I could have gained. But let me add, many years later, when my father was still alive, I landed a job at Bell Canada where I'm still working, where I'm still proudly working. And halfway through my career there, on the advice of a manager, I decided to go back to school to complete graduate studies in business administration. I thought at the time it would be a way of restructuring or perhaps getting a job promotion, but the idea simply did not meet the disapproval of my father at that particular time. And at first everything went so well. My marks were high. I was so popular in my new milieu. But my new feelings of self-worth were short-lived when finally I was forced to take a course in accounting. And I had this block for accounting. I couldn't remember if assets equaled equities plus liabilities, or I couldn't remember if assets plus equities equaled liabilities. I couldn't remember if inventory meant first and first out or first and last out. And while all my friends at school were raving about their wonderful midterm exam successes, I was so humiliated by my midterm exam successes. 18 out of 40, 21 out of 50. And yet, praying to God, I memorized 10 examples from each chapter of the textbook, and I went to the final exam. And on Judgment Day, with those very classmates hovering over my back, I looked down the list of the grades, and there I saw my name, Joseph Sohmer, 69. 69, the most beautiful number in the world. 69, let the Queen of England knight me for a 69. Let the Pope canonize me for a 69. Let everyone bask in the glory of what they conjure up the number 69 to denote. I don't care. I was simply so relieved. And like Christopher Columbus, who took his gold from the New World to the King of Spain, I took my gold to the King of the Sohmer family. I said, Dad, I passed accounting. I got 69. And I saw something that I never saw in my life before. I saw my father tear one tear on my behalf, as if it was the crowning achievement of my life. And I became enraged. I suddenly realized that my father viewed me as a handicapped child that went to the Olympics for handicapped athletes and came back with a medal. And suddenly I saw myself on this podium with this medal dangling around my neck while the band played "Oh Canada," all because I got a 69 in accounting. And I felt like yelling at him. I said, "You see what a handicapped son can do when he tries really hard, Dad? He can get you a 69. But I didn't do it, because I soon realized that I had received rite of passage. I had finally received rite of passage from my father at my late age. And my father and I have finally come to terms. He for the gratification of my 69 in accounting, and I for the realization of what I had become in life and what I wish no longer to be. And then I thought of the following lines. It was a spring that never came, but we lived long enough to know. It's the things we never have in life that remain. It's the things we have in life that go. Sarah Teasdale, wisdom. So I'll be wise. I'll make the 3 pledges. I pledge I will never seek the American dream as Willy Loman had sought it. And neither will I seek the American dream as Morris Sohmer had sought it. But I think I will seek the French dream. I will go to France myself. I will go boating on the Seine alone. I will find something nice to study. And I will take my place on the Sohmer stage as I see fit.